Hi, everybody. Well, with that opening, and hope you have a brass skirt on because it's Aloha Tuesday. I'm Arthur, and this is Mel, the Aloha Shirt Psychic.
We're in the background going.
Yeah. It's fun.
Hello, Arthur. How are you?
Okay.
I'm cold. We're having a heat wave here. It's 11.
It was 63 today.
There you have it.
You have it.
Chicago. This is a typical Chicago winter.
Yeah. This is typical for Los Angeles right now.
So maybe, but still we haven't had a lot of snow. There's snow on the ground now, but
there was last week.
I'd like one good blizzard.
You let everyone know. They were asked, since we canceled last week, everyone asked, I said you were at the doctor's. Oh my God, is Mel okay? I was like, no, he was stuck at the doctor's. It was just a checkup.
It was starting to snow. What happened was every 4 months, I have to see the surgeon who did the cancer stuff. But I had it mixed up. I thought I was supposed to get a CAT scan every 4 months and see the doctor. And I had it backwards. But anyway, whenever I go, she always does a scope. And they numb everything but this little long tube, and they put it. But she was running behind, and I was stuck. I couldn't leave because I needed to make sure everything was wonderful. But then when the numbing wears off, my throat gets really sore. And it was starting to get sore, and traffic was a nightmare. The weather was really inclement. And I called Arthur, and I said, I'm still here.
And I'm like, we're going to cancel. Don't worry about it.
Because there's no way I would have gotten home on time. And I couldn't do it from the car unless you wanted to hear me swearing like a drunken sailor. So
that would be a fun show.
Yeah, right.
Mel Aloha Shirt Psychic wearing.
We'd be in YouTube jail forever, but
we'll just do another channel.
All right. So anyway, thanks. But I'm good. I promise.
Good. And Sherry's in the background.
Yes. Hi, Sherry. Sherry's in the background pulling the strings.
So if anyone needs to get a hold of Sherry, see my little Swamp Thing alligator? You think I've been watching Dexter or something? So anyway, do you have any announcements, Mr. Mel?
Yes, I have openings for my Peru trip, September the 6th. I've got about 8 openings on that. Iceland, I've got probably around 15 openings on that. So I've got to hurry up and get them sold because otherwise the company will offer them to other travel agents, and I want the biggest part of these tours to be my people. So I promise it'll be safe airplane journey. I promise it'll be safe travel. If I thought there was going to be an issue with it, I'm a psychic. I wouldn't be doing it. So if you're interested, call the number below.
847-590-5411 or contact Mel at meldoer.com. MELDOERR.com.
Yay.
See, I put a little airplane for you.
Also, I see the little airplane. It's so cool. Also, I'm happy that I've been using the Andro Niki, ANDRO plus Niki, NIKI. There you go, androniki.com. Look it up below. And during the winter, my hands were always cracked and bleeding, and my face would get really dry. And I've been putting this on 3 or 4 times a day, and it is incredible. It keeps my hands from getting chapped, and it's just wonderful. Have you tried it yet, Arthur?
They're not my hands. Yeah, it's great. They're not a sponsor. He's a client of Mel's, and it's a wonderful product.
We're not a sponsor. It's nothing like that. I don't do sponsorships on my show, not even from my trips. I plug them, but I'm just, every now and again you come across a great
help people that are good people.
Every now and again you come across a great product, and this is one of them. And so I know Sherry's been using it, and she loves it. Linda Grindel's been using it. All my little psychic community, it's a product, and everybody seems to like it. So androplusnikki.com. I'm going to have Andrew on my show because he's very spiritual, And the way he came about this was really spiritual. And
Cool.
what interests me in it as well. So
I'm going to make 2 quick little announcements.
you can't.
Okay, bye.
Infomercial is done. Go
It's
ahead.
not an infomercial. This is a public service announcement.
Oh,
Please, everyone, contact your representatives. Go through 5calls.org. 5, the number, calls, calls.org. They will help you write letters, give you scripts. They'll also help you give you phone numbers, where to call, who to call. They do the emails for you. I've been using it. All my friends have been using it, getting to all our representatives more than once a day. Okay.
I have a technical question. How do you get that at the bottom of the screen? I see 5calls.org with the little finger. Is that something you do in StreamYard, or how do you do that?
I did in StreamYard.
Well, you have to teach me how to do it. I like that.
Okay.
It's real nifty.
Thank you. And then I've been talking to everybody about this app. We're not connected or affiliated in any way, shape, or form, but it's Goods Unite Us, available at the app stores. And this lets you know who donates to who, what company donates to which party, and what percentage.
In
And
fact, you know what I'm doing right now? I'm downloading it.
Yay!
Now, I go to my app store on my iPhone, just like this. I'm going to show everybody how to do this because a lot of people out there are computer illiterate like I am. I'm on my app store, and then I'm going to type in Goods Unite Us, correct?
Correct.
One word.
Well, it's actually 3 words, but that's okay.
Oh, here I got it.
It'll
Goods
show up.
Unite Us. And one says active vote. I don't see it on here. Is that the same thing? Vote in elections.
No,
I'm not finding it.
it's there.
Oh, it's Goods Unite Us. I see what I did wrong here. I was being cocky. Goods Unite Us, right?
It's called CRS.
Okay. No, it's not coming up for some reason. Well, anyway.
Well, it will.
Maybe I'll just Google it and see.
So much for that tutorial. Next.
Well, I've got a Mac, so that might be the problem. But
No, I have it on I put it on my phone too.
let me see if I can do it this way. Goods Unite Us, right, Arthur?
Yes.
Oh, I see right here. GoodsUniteUs.com app. I'm doing the app right now. Yay. I just went to Good Unite Us and it gives me the app.
Yeah.
And so you can donate too on that.
Yeah. But I just brought up for Target. It says 52% Democrat, 48% Republican. But since they got rid of DEI, I'm not going there.
Well, I will ask, what is and what isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they don't support it, I ain't shopping there.
Exactly.
Now, is this the same thing as GUU, debate politics and shop? Is that what I'm looking at? Political purchasing?
I don't know. All I know is it's Goods Unite Us.
Okay, I'm going to download it. And there we go.
Because I like to know where my dollars are going.
Me too. Right? All right. So thank you, Arthur. That is really handy. I will use that. Could you check out? Well, I don't want to brand name anything. So.
Well, I just said Target because they were in the news about DEI.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So let me see here.
And if anybody needs to get a hold of me, it's arthur.com. Lose my mind.
Is there a phone number?
It's actually in the details below is the phone number, but Arthur Ease Your Mind is where you make the appointments and stuff. And I was telling Linda, and I did her show on Friday, I said, look, I've got appointments open in May, April, March, February. Well, I've got openings.
Okay.
So, and we've got questions.
Yes, we do.
Lots of questions. So, I took some from the post, and I'm just going to read. Got one from teacher Barbara. Hey, fellas. I hope I can make it tonight. Dad is kind of off the rails. Mel, you know. I have two questions. One, I may be wrong, but I did not see much of the protests yesterday. They were all over Florida. Are the journalists afraid of being muted?
No.
The news didn't cover much of it.
I watched it. It was not my President's Day. I think some did, but it was all over YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube, but not on corporate news. We'll call it that.
Well, it'll gain momentum, and I see at some point the corporate news will have to cover it. They might spin it, but certain places like MSNBC, I think, will give it proper coverage. And the other major networks, well, the one network that begins with F, we know they won't, but there you go.
Now, she did have another question, which I'll say real quick. When the orange peel strips away education, will kids like her grandson who's impaired still get help? Is my understanding that Muskrat said the lessers need to be extinct. Feel free to correct me, as I may have heard it incorrectly. It's not my intention to spread misinformation, which is why I'm asking, if that makes sense.
Well, that's the kind of same thing that happened in Nazi Germany when Hitler, they would put up posters saying that people who had disabilities were a drain on society. I don't know if he said that, but I wouldn't put it past him.
It seems to be their belief in some way or another is how I see it. Also, but if you ever read the book and saw the series Man in the High Tower, it's very interesting. It's what happens if we didn't win the war. And so the Eastern Seaboard belongs to Germany. The Western Seaboard belongs to Japan. And one of the high-ranking officers, his son comes down with an illness. And so they said, bye, get rid of the kid. So I wouldn't put it past these people.
I do think they are going to cut education, yes. And they'll try to cut special education programs. But I see it being tied up in court, and the courts are going to say that's discriminatory and you can't. So now they might just give the court the middle finger. But, when people start to see, it's going to start affecting programs that they've depended on. Right. And it will, trust me, not only things as well, people are going to start screaming about it.
Right. They voted the way they did because they thought nothing affected them.
Correct.
But now that it does, it's a bite in the you-know-what.
Now, sometimes people misquote what we say. And so if that's the case, if we'll say it how we really meant it, it doesn't mean we're being argumentative. We're not correcting you. We're just correcting the record, if you will.
And also, just to let people know, I had predicted something about that I saw something about military taking out Musk and or Trump. That was a vision. I wasn't saying they were actually taking them out. It was a vision. That type of energy is out there that they will be taken care of. That's what I was reading. So I did not say the military was taking them out in real life. It was just a vision.
I do see most Americans, let me say most, at least 55 or 60% of us turning against Trump. My guides show me we'll get through this. It's going to be hellish for the next couple of years, but we will get through it. And who was it? Was it Winston Churchill or somebody said that American people eventually do the right things after exhausting all options? I forgot who said it, but I didn't say it. So people are going to start speaking up. My guides show me people are going to be protesting widely and frequently.
Yes.
There will be some violence. Trump is going to think about or try to call martial law. If he does that, and I don't put it past him, and my guides are telling me he's thinking of it, he's going to try to maneuver something where he can. People won't honor it. It won't hold up.
Right. Well, I've always said we have more power than they realize. We just have to use it.
Correct. And people are worried about taking away women's right to vote and this and that. I forget there's the SAVE thing.
SAVE Act, yeah.
Okay. You cannot take away women's right to vote. Well, you can, but you can't. In other words, it's a law. In order to change the law, I don't know if it's in the Constitution. I think it is actually. In order to change that, you have to have 2/3 vote in the House, the Senate. So they just can't willy-nilly take away by passing some stupid law women's right to vote.
Well, what they're saying is if a woman gets married and keeps her maiden name and it's not her married name or whatever, if it's not matching up, she can't vote.
Yeah, but then her husband can get her vote. So that's not going to hold up. That's discriminatory.
Exactly.
And if it goes to the Supreme Court, they're going to say no, 5-4. But my guys are showing me the behind the scenes, some of these Supreme Court justices that have that gave, this power to the president. In other words, that they're immune from prosecution for presidential acts, but not for personal. What's presidential? What's personal? It's hard to figure out. But they're thinking, okay, we thought we had this tiger contained and we've let it out. Now, what do we do with it? And behind the scenes, with the exception of Clarence Thomas, of course, and another one, but
can they get rid of him for DEI?
Yeah, right. But some of them behind the
Asking
scenes,
for a friend.
Some of them behind the scenes are like, "What have we done?"
Yeah.
And
hi, Kevin, Loving Vibrations.
Oh, I like Kevin Love. Oh, okay. Hi, Kevin, Loving Vibrations. I was going to say I like this comment.
Yeah, that's why I put it up. I believe Winston Churchill also said, "When you're going through hell, keep going."
So there you go.
There you go.
That's a really good comment, YouTube user.
Thank you. So let's get to some questions.
Yep.
Jenny Wells, hi. What is it with this executive order business? It bypasses the Congress, who I thought made and passes new laws.
An executive order is not a law. It is an order by the president to do certain things. Now, that can go to the courts, and the courts can determine whether or not it is constitutional. If it's not constitutional, he can't do it. All right. But he can pass executive orders. And I am saying psychically that what they are doing is just passing all these executive orders, throwing everything at the wall, and you know what I'm talking about, to see what will stick.
Spaghetti.
The other thing they're trying to do is to flood the courts with all these executive orders in the hopes that the courts will be so overwhelmed that they won't be able to hear them all. And that they'll go to the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court is also going to be overwhelmed with all of this.
Right.
So then they can keep doing what they want to do. What I predict psychically will happen is that the Supreme Court will refuse to hear a lot of cases and uphold decisions by the lower courts just to ease their docket a little bit. Right. And much of what Trump is doing with these crazy executive orders, I see the courts will say, you can't do it. Now, J.D. Vance has already said, well, we'll ignore what the courts say. And if they do that, that will put us in a constitutional crisis, which I think we're kind of in already.
Yeah, we are.
So the courts can tell the federal marshals to go arrest the ones who aren't complying with the court order, but who controls the federal marshals? Donald Trump.
You can say the executive branch. However, if the executive branch is not following the Constitution, that's the issue.
Well, I've heard people say, pundits say that, what are the repercussions? So
we're going to have to, unfortunately, wait and see on this one. But what I see is him wanting to be a dictator, he's putting out edicts, not executive orders.
Well, of course they're edicts. The king has issued an order, you know.
Yeah, well, the king's not wearing any clothes either, so.
But it's legal as long as it's not unconstitutional. And at some point, once T. Rump is out of office, I see this whole executive order thing saying they can give an executive order as long as it's not unconstitutional. I see legislation caveats being added to that.
Right. It's like, once all this is out of the way, build back better so that it can't be done again.
Correct.
Mystical magic. Will Sean Hannity lose his job at Fox? I get a no on that.
Not right away.
Not now.
I see him gone at some point. Distant future, but just not right away.
Well, I think he's gone, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, where did he go?
Okay, next. Let's see here. From Donna. Hi, Arthur and Mel. DeJoy is stepping down very shortly when successor is found. Good riddance. Will the replacement be worse than DeJoy?
Absolutely, because Trump wants to also control the mail. And you're going to see cuts coming there too. You know, it really ticks me off that Elon Musk tells us, King Elon, the dictator in training, tells us that we have to tighten our belts. But yet, in Trump's previous administration, he wasted and spent more money than any president in American history. They're telling us we have to tighten our belts, but yet they're making millions of dollars, greasing their pockets by cutting all these budgets. You know,
what's going to happen to my mail order bride?
There you go. They're making people think that funding Ukraine is putting a drain on the economy.
When it's not.
It's
helping the economy.
That's the smoke screen.
Yeah.
That's the smoke screen that all these government jobs are draining the economy. No. If they're doing this to grease their own pockets, and let's say that we were giving Ukraine weapons and things like that. Actually, that would put more money in the economy because it would put more people to work to manufacture those weapons to give to Ukraine.
Well, that's the whole thing. The equipment they're getting is like expiration dates. So they're getting old stuff that's going to be replaced.
Correct.
So,
you know, if they were smart, they would say, well, we'll fund Ukraine. It'll put Americans to work. But no, they want to cut all these jobs. And where is all that money they're supposedly saving going? Into their pockets.
Of course.
Period.
Not the health and social services.
Right.
Hi, Pat F. What will the outcome of the 2017-25 meeting of European Union nations and United Kingdom and France? Will they be forceful and successful in getting a seat at the table to deter Russia and U.S. alliance?
I talked about that on my show today, that Putin wants to weaken NATO, and so does Trump, because they're working together on this and thinking then they're, you know, Putin, I mean, Trump is probably already saying to Putin or Putin to Trump, look, we'll weaken NATO. I'll take over these countries with Russia. You can have this and we'll split the spoils.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. Again, a smokescreen that they owe us money. They got to pay. Okay.
That's just, yeah.
NATO, I see, will still hold up. NATO will last. And I see it becoming stronger. And I see a lot of the countries in the EU becoming much stronger and banding together to stop this Russia thing in Ukraine.
This threat.
I mean, they're very sad about the U.S. alliance. But when you have J.D. Vance going to Germany and meeting privately with a neo-Nazi party who Alice Weidel is the head of,
right,
giving them support, and then talking at a meeting of the European nations that Romania is wrong because the person they elected and the court stepped in and overturned the election. Yeah, JD, because there was cheating going on.
Yeah.
And he talked about making Europe strong. Oh, by letting Russia take over?
Right.
These people are hep to it. And
well, I saw that the guy from Germany basically told him to F off.
Correct. And then they said he was weak because he was crying. He was crying because he was retiring.
Yeah, and Hedgehog didn't help the matters either.
You know, when Marco Rubio, traitor that he is meeting with Russia, oh, I can end the war. Oh, okay.
In the first day.
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to say to Ukraine what they've already said: let Russia keep the territories it's captured that it got illegally, should have never invaded Ukraine. Ukraine can't join NATO for like 20 years. Okay. And
you're going to give us your minerals to the United States.
Correct. And whose money, whose hands, whose pockets is that going to go into? Putin's, Trump's, and Musk's. The other part of it is that when right before Putin invaded Ukraine, just say you won't join NATO, blah, blah, blah. They did that, but he invaded anyway. So Ukraine's going to say, wait a minute. Why should we take Putin at his word and say we won't join NATO for 20 years? He doesn't want them to join NATO for 20 years because he knows that there's strength in NATO. Also, because if he would invade, he'd have NATO coming after him. All right. He wants to weaken NATO so he can get the old countries in the Soviet Union back. The other thing is Ukraine's not going to trust him. You know, why would we give you parts of our territories that you don't even own? You invaded us for some BS reason, and we're not going to do it. And I'm telling you, the Ukrainians are not going to give in to this supposed negotiation between Trump and Putin that they're having.
Strong-arming Zelensky. It's not going to work. Zelensky already told Trump, no deal.
But here's the deal on that. How can you have negotiations with Russia about ending a war in Ukraine and you don't invite the Ukrainians?
Yeah, it's just, there's,
it's a smoke screen.
Optics.
Arthur, you hit it. It's about Trump and his cronies and Putin raping, and I'll say that word again, raping Ukraine of its minerals and raping Ukraine of everything so they can pocket the money.
And that's why they also want Greenland.
And to hell with the Ukrainians. That's what they're thinking. It won't work.
No, it's not going to. It's going to make the European nations
hopping mad. Yeah. And I'm on their side. I'm hopping mad too.
Well, we all are. Because they're bully. They're bullies. Coolinut 516. Cool Ant. Sorry. 516. Due to measles cases rising, will Europe place any travel restrictions on the USA?
Yes and no. So there is a vaccination against rubella, against measles. I've had measles. So they're going to say if anybody is showing any signs of measles, blah, 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 then they won't let you in the countries. But what I do see coming is mass vaccinations in Europe against measles.
Correct.
So they might say if you're an American, you want to travel to those countries, that
you have to be vaccinated.
You have to be vaccinated.
Over Kennedy's.
Kennedy ain't gonna like that one, Kennedy ain't gonna like that one.
No.
Now, if Donald Trump and Elon Musk knew they could make some money on that, they'd be the first ones pushing vaccines.
Yeah, but I also read this morning that there's $500 million worth of COVID tests the government is talking about destroying.
Well, they're trying to defund the World Health Organization, or at least not bring it to the forefront here. But we're in for some epidemics here, and let's see how the Trump administration whitewashes that.
Well, measles and there's what the town in Texas where they have no, where everybody voted for Trump. All the kids are getting measles. It's getting bad.
Well, measles won't kill you. Some people it will, but it's terrible if it's a pregnant woman, and it can cause birth deformities.
Exactly. Oh, anyway. Hi, Sherry with an ERRI. Good evening, Mel and Arthur. Is traveling by air going to continue with plane crashes? And if so, how long will it last? Thank you for answering my question.
Okay, the one that just crashed, the Delta plane, was in Canada.
The upside down one.
And they have safe air traffic control. I watched the footage. The plane was coming in too fast. The runway was slick. It hit heavy. And when it did, it broke the back landing gear off. And then the right wing hit or touched the ground because of the heavy landing. When that happens, it causes lift in the left wing, so it caused the plane to flip over.
Right.
That wasn't a problem of air traffic control. That was pilot error.
That was an accident.
Right. So, yes, flying is safe. I'm taking my trips. And like I said earlier on in this program, if I thought that it was going to be unsafe, there's no way I would go, nor any way that I would advise other people to go. So, yes, it will be safe. Of course, there's plane crashes. It just so happened. Now, the ones that happened in this country, that helicopter hitting that airplane,
the American airplane,
helicopter was at the wrong place at the wrong time. That was not the fault of air traffic control. That was the fault of the helicopter. That's what
they're saying. She may not have heard it.
I'm sorry?
They may not have heard the direction. But anyway, it happened. But also, it did put light on the fact that they got rid of all the FAA people, which we need.
Well, but the outcry on that and the court deal is going to say, no, you have to have them. So the court's going to overturn that. The thing with that helicopter and the commuter plane that crashed, the regional airplane, was the helicopter said that he had a visual on that airplane. He did not. It was the wrong
other airplane
that he saw.
Yeah.
So.
Daughter of Asset. Is Elon Muskrat an alien?
No, aliens don't even want him.
No, it's the mothership left him behind.
No, he's living proof that human beings really did
evolve.
That human beings really did copulate with amoebas.
Well, did you ever see a picture of him without the plastic surgery or the hair implants? Think Gollum. Precious. Entertainment purposes only. Don't come and sue me. Laura Wright. I love your little doggy, Laura.
Look, cute dog.
Border czar Tom Homan is after AOC. She created videos for her constituents about their legal rights if they are stopped by ICE. He wants to bring charges. Will she face a battle over this?
Let him bring charges, because guess what? She'll take it to court. The court will say, wait a minute, she hasn't done anything wrong. All she's doing is protecting the constitutional rights of people that are being rounded up.
She's giving a public service announcements for her constituents. That's what she's supposed to do.
See, this is what's happening. Anybody that stands up and speaks up against Trump or his orders from the king, he's going to go
the blob boss. He's a blob boss.
I think it's the 14th Amendment or one of the amendments of the Constitution says that we have the right to criticize the government, to call the government out on something it's doing if we think it's right or wrong, without reprisal from the government.
Yeah, they didn't read that part.
Obviously not.
Or ignored it. Hi, Helen. Hello, Arthur and Mel. I love this. Should the White House squatter no longer be around, will the Dems go after Felon and his loyalists, known and unknown? He's got people hiding themselves we don't see. His tentacles. I thought that said something else, though. Sorry.
Well, my answer to that psychically is if we went after people who were loyalists to T. Rump, I don't see many people loyal to Musk. He's going to be the most hated man in this country and in the world. Then we would be equally as guilty of what Trump is doing by going after people that went against Trump. What I see will happen is there'll be investigations into people who wanted an insurrection, who gave the middle finger to the courts.
Who wanted a coup.
Correct. And I see them investigated and incarcerated. But just because somebody supports Trump doesn't mean that they should be jailed. I mean, we all have freedom of speech and we all have freedom of choice.
Right. I'm so glad I read Tentacles because I read something else. Anyway, moving forward. From Connie B. IRIKR. I don't know what IKR means. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at.
I'm not either. I'm not good at little acronym thingies.
Today I saw a commercial airline flying really low here in Tucson. Scary.
I think that air traffic control probably told them to fly low. Could be for weather conditions. So I don't think that was anything out of the ordinary.
I'm feeling the same way.
I think the plane was supposed to be where it was supposed to be.
I know, right?
Oh, I got it.
IKR.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please, you guys, because I don't know all those internet abbreviations. I'm from the old school. So
it took me a half hour to teach Mel how to do a cut and paste. Come on, people.
That's true.
Hi, Patrick Duncan.
But once I get it, I got it.
That's why you had to call me the next day. But hi, Mel and Arthur.
I was so ashamed when I first started this because I was so computer illiterate, and they would say, you got to do this, you got to do that. I go, I don't know how to do that.
We have to get Mel a clock.
A clock?
Yeah, so you know what time it is in other places. Mel,
he
says, it's 8:30. I said, it's 6:30 my time. I had to get up to answer the phone. Hi, Mel and Arthur. How do you see this ending? Will we ever regain the trust, let alone respect, of the rest of the world?
For the rest of the world, I predict it's going to take a long time because the rest of the world is going to be saying, okay, so we'll have U.S. as part of our alliance, as ally. But how do we know it's not going to happen again? And it won't happen. I won't say it won't happen again. But I see systems being put in place, laws being put in place in case we have a rogue president like this so that it won't happen again.
Correct. We will build back better. We can rebuild it, We have the technology.
I mean, we had during the Civil War, Lincoln, who was president of the United States, and Jefferson Davis was president of the Confederate States. And after the Civil War, things were put in place like states can't secede, After Trump and Viens are gone, things put in place so nothing like this Project 2025 or all this middle fingers to the court and stampeding human rights. There will be things put in place to make sure that it won't happen again.
Mm-hmm. It's going to take time, but it will be.
When our foreparents founded this country and wrote the Constitution and all that, I mean, think about the things that they did. They really thought ahead and thought of every possibility. I think they tried to plan for a rogue president, but never somebody this rogue. And so,
yeah, that's the problem because unfortunately, Democrats were always playing nice guy, thinking, they'll follow protocol. Up until now,
well, I think they got it wrong to the not the Constitution, but I think what we're doing is we've got the wrong definition of conservatism. To me, conservatism doesn't mean laying off all these people that have government jobs. It just means to be conservative in our spending.
What about they always just say small government?
Well, that same small government are going to be the government these people are going to need.
Yeah.
Even on a bigger scale.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean wasting money building a wall. To me, government spending should be about helping special education, affordable health care,
helping those in need.
That's helping those in need. You know,
they want to be a Christian nation, then act like Christ.
Paying our, the things we paid into, like Social Security. That's not an entitlement.
No, I'm entitled to my Social Security because I paid into it.
Correct. So I think, to me, what the MAGAs are talking about is not conservatism. Conservatism is not about being bigoted and racist and prejudicial.
It's neo-Nazism, as far as I'm concerned.
Correct. That is not conservatism.
No.
In my opinion. So
mystical light goddess.
Let's call it what it is. Let's call it ultra right-wing neo-Nazism, authoritarianism. You're right, Arthur.
Linda said something on Friday. I have to repeat it. She said, it's like a cold turd in a Dixie cup.
It's a what? I couldn't hear you.
A cold turd in a Dixie cup.
I like that. That's good.
That's better than her nothing burger.
It certainly is.
Okay. Mystical light goddess. How long before NDP and Green Party excel in Ontario and Canada?
I don't know, but what I do see in Canada is I don't see it going ultra right, even though some politicians and Elon Musk and Russia are going to try to interfere in their elections. My feeling is Canadians will see it for what it's worth and not let it happen. Nor do I see it going ultra left. I see the Canadian government coming center.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Center. I also see in Canada, a huge environmental movement arising to help curb climate change and things like that. I don't see Canada becoming communistic, nor do I see it becoming fascist.
No.
Which this country is becoming as fascist. What I do see is, they'll still have the socialized medicine or a single payer. Okay. But I still see them staying middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where things should be, really. My feeling is Canadians will speak up, because Canada, my guides are warning you that if you don't speak up, the same thing that happened here will happen to you.
Right. But I believe they are educated enough that it's not going to go that way. They saw what Trump did. They rallied together.
It's not going to be like it might happen. If you don't speak up and protect your democracy, I promise you it will happen. However, that can be prevented. Exactly.
Thank you, Mystical Light Goddess.
I like that name, Mystical Light Goddess.
Ginny. Hello, Mel and Arthur. Will we still have a country in 2 years? Hopefully Congress will have a Democratic majority. Yes, we'll still have a country in 2 years.
Abraham Lincoln's spirit came to me and keeps coming to me, and I don't want to get too woo-woo with it.
Oh, please, you're a psychic. Come on. You're a psychic medium. Come on, do it.
Woo enough. I am a medium, actually. We all are.
I'm medium rare.
I know. It says, justice shall prevail. Our union shall stand, and our democracy shall hold.
Yay.
So.
And hello, 1,283 people in the room.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Hi.
Thank you for joining us. Nora, what was Air Force One doing in Russia?
Trump was kissing Putin's butt. That's what was happening. Did I just say that?
No, you didn't. No, that was just a figment of my imagination.
Will we get in YouTube jail for that?
No. It was a comedy. It was parody. What was it doing there? Refueling.
Because Trump and his cronies were having a meeting with Putin because they're best buddies. But I still think that Putin's got a lot on Trump.
I was just going to say, yeah, we'll meet you. Just keep the tapes there. Don't bring them out yet.
You know, if Trump were smart, he'd actually go along with Ukraine, because Zelensky would say, we'll give you the minerals. We'll give them to you cheaper. We'll do this. We'll do that, you know?
Instead of raping us and taking them.
Well, but
my opinion only, that was not the guides.
Trump is going to hang out with dictators and authoritarians because he's a wannabe dictator authoritarian. The person that scares me most about this country is Elon Musk. And J.D. Vance, because J.D. Vance is smart. He went to Yale, but when he actually said with some stupid argument, we can do this because of about the courts, and we don't have to follow what they say. He knows better. He went to Yale.
Doesn't say much for Yale now, does it?
Well, no, he's very bright. I'll give him that, but he's misusing it.
He knows how to do his
That's going to bite him in the you know what.
Yeah, but
Elon Musk is bright. You got to be bright to be the world's richest person. I'm not agreeing with how he got there.
But you can also be an idiot savant too.
He is a savant, absolutely.
Yeah. Hi, Dot Hayes. What happens to Michael Cohen while Trump is in the White House?
Michael Cohen is who?
The lawyer? Are you talking about Michael Cohen, the lawyer?
The YouTube guy?
Yeah. Well, he used to be his lawyer, his henchman.
I'm thinking the wrong one. Michael Cohen. Well, you know, Trump will give him a pardon and not.
No. He was his lawyer that went to jail for him.
I know my light bulb just went on. I'm sorry. Yeah, Michael Cohen. Well, Michael Cohen is going to stand up and still be very vocal against Trump.
Yeah.
He's not going to back off. In fact, he'll come out much stronger.
Oh, I just saw a question here. I'm going to put up real fast. Let's see if I can do this. Why haven't the older Trump kids been more concerned about DJT? They're in the will.
I can't touch that one. That was so right on.
Next.
Next.
Hi, Amanda Sparks. Hi, Arthur, Mel, and Sherry. Do you see Netanyahu, Putin, and Trump getting in trouble around the same time of each other?
No.
I always saw Putin and Trump as Tweedledee and Tweedledum. One goes down, the other goes down.
Netanyahu will go down.
Yeah.
Especially if he lets Trump have Gaza to make it a Riviera.
Yeah, take it away from the Palestinians.
It's not going to happen.
Trump thinks he's what is it? A weeble? Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. He's going to fall down.
Trump is a sociopath, and like most sociopaths and dictators, they think they cannot fall, but they will. The sociopath is like this, or the psychopath. What's mine is mine, is yours is mine. This is yours, but if I want it, I can take it. And you can't say anything about it because it's mine.
That sounds like every Leo friend I've ever had.
Wait, no, hold on. No.
That was a joke.
Take that back, because here's why. There are a lot of wonderful supporters out there that are Leos.
I was teasing. That was pithy remark. I take that back.
Good.
But I did see. Now, this was interesting. There was a girl in South Korea who went to a shaman. You know how they do the mystical stuff and all that. And she said, all I need is the name and the birthday of someone. They said, we're not going to give you the name, but we're going to give you the birthday. They gave the birthday, and she just looked and says, he's a sociopath. It was Trump. First thing out of her mouth. There you go. Even they know.
So the sociopath is What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine, and I can take and you can't say anything.
Yeah.
That's like Putin, with the stopping USA and people starving to death and dying. Trump doesn't care about that. It's like Stalin said, one death is a tragedy, a million is a statistic. And that's how they see it. They don't care. They do not care. All they care about, they act as if they care. Trump is about as religious as his ink pen. This ink pen is more religious. He doesn't give a hoot about that. He just panders to these ultra right-wing Christian nationalists because
they think he's bringing in the end times.
Correct. And also, he controls them by pandering to them, and he gets them to do his will. That's what it's about. It's about power, and it's about control.
We used to call that the Carney man, Atlantic City, selling stuff.
Bingo. Well, he had a place in Atlantic City.
Yeah, I remember that. Taj Mahal.
Palace, and he bankrupted that. So there you go. And he's going to try to and he'll bankrupt this country if we allow it to happen.
Hi, artist Liz. When will 45 and Muskrat be out of the White House for good? Thank you.
I don't see Trump finishing his full term in office, and I see a huge falling out coming between T-Rump and Musk, and Trump is going to turn on Musk like white on rice.
And for entertainment purposes only, but I feel something June, July is coming down really big, and end of March. So we'll see what happens.
Something big in March.
Yeah. After the Ides of March, which is the 15th. I wish we would go down on the 15th. That would be fun.
By the way, I want to send condolences to all the people that are having this horrible weather. Specifically in Kentucky, Beattyville, I think, was a town that was evacuated. And I think the last I saw, because of the flooding there was 11 that died. I also, according to you, Arthur, there's flooding in LA.
Well, they keep on announcing the flooding. Yeah. Flood warnings.
Tornadoes somewhere, or inclement weather somewhere else in the south. So, Sherry is saying, I don't know Louisiana, but in Louisiana as well. So let's send our prayers and our. And
I felt there's this Arctic blast coming down next week for the northern part of the United States. Sorry, people. Around Michigan.
That Trump doesn't give a hoot about.
No, he wrote more about what he said at the Daytona race than he did about people dying in Kentucky.
Right. He probably won't do anything in Kentucky.
Barbie, why are companies moving to subscribe?
I don't understand the question.
I think what you mean is, if you remember, you used to go buy software, put it in your computer, was done. Now you can't do that. You have to subscribe to it.
I see. Because they make more money.
Exactly. It's like hooking the kids on heroin for free, and then they have to buy it.
Right. Well, they give you the bait. Subscribe. You think you're getting it for free, and then try this 10-day free trial. And if you don't
forget about it.
And then once you click that, good luck trying to unsubscribe, because that happened to me. I ordered something, keep sending it every week. I'm like, I didn't order this weekly, and there's this little thing I didn't check off.
Hi, Laura. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum is asking Google to change their online maps back to Gulf of America or face legal action. Good for her. What will Google do?
You mean Gulf of Mexico? She wants to change it back to Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Gulf of America.
Oh, I'm sorry, because the way I look at it is I'm calling it the Gulf formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico. Like the artist formerly known as Prince.
Right. Well, a lot of other countries are going to pressure Google. So the way I see it happening is they issue maps for to IP addresses in Mexico and the rest of the world. They'll say Gulf of Mexico, and United States, they'll say Gulf of America. Go figure. Which Actually, it should be the Gulf of the Americas, because we're North American, Canadian is North American, they're Central American, and they're South American. So everybody from all of those countries are American.
Well, actually, it should be just called the Gulf of Exxon, but that's a whole nother story.
No, they'd probably want to call it the Gulf of Donald or the Gulf of Elon.
Delon.
There you go.
Spiritual Garden. What do you see happening to the Palestinians, Lebanese, and other minority groups over the long haul in the Middle East?
Well, actually, the Palestinians are not a minority group, because Palestine was a pretty good big country.
Yeah.
And what I see happening is Israel and Palestine becoming, Israel stays is a state or a nation. Palestine becomes its own separate state. And ultimately, that's in the future, not within the next 4 years, but ultimately that's what I see. And then I see them living together in a peaceful coexistence. I see a leader coming to Israel who's going to be very strong, the same as I see a leader coming here, very outspoken on the Democratic side, but that will promote peace in the Middle East, won't tolerate any shenanigans or attacking Israel, but will promote peace. A real world leader.
What I always get when I scry on it is
when you
always scry, not cry, scry.
When you what?
Scry, my little crystal ball here. Yeah, like that's what Gene taught me.
Now, can you spell scry?
SCRY.
And what does that mean? I know what it means, but
to scry into a crystal ball or an object that you focus on and you see things, helps you, whatever.
To peer into the.
But what I also always saw was a female coming forward like a gold in my ear.
That's what I see. Wait, I'm scrying.
I know. I when I started like, NEM, would you get out of here?
The crystal ball. I see a woman. She's very upset. I have my little scry thingy.
Yeah.
I look at it sometimes. It's kind of fun.
Well,
I do know. I do know what scry meant.
It's the same size Gene used to use.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Did you put new batteries in it?
No, but I did change the water on this one.
Now that's a scryer.
I call this crystal. I call this destiny.
I remember those talking 8 balls.
Yeah.
Ask me later, maybe, yes, no.
Yeah, it was called Tentacles. Anyway, I think we have time for one more.
I do know what scry means, by the way.
I know you do.
What does it mean again? Let me see.
It's just that Mel suffers from, like I do, CRS. Can't remember.
I want to scry on this. Okay, go ahead.
Cry. Who is Summertime? Is that a song by Gershwin?
Summertime.
Who is really running the country? Neither Felon 45 or Melonhead have the intelligence to think up the things they are doing. Is it possible directions are coming from the dictators?
Well, I'm sure they're using a playbook from Putin and books like Mein Kampf.
But also the guy that wrote 2025. And then there's this other philosopher they've been dealing with, last name begins with a Y, that he's just saying, get used to being a dictator. Get used to dictatorship.
Well, who was it that said that democracy and freedom are not compatible? I forgot who it was. I had it in my notes and I don't know where I put them. I'll find them.
Yeah, when we're done the show.
I'm sorry?
I said you'll find them when we're done the show.
Well, you're right. It'll be like, damn, I haven't found those.
No, I mean, I feel there's a think tank that they keep on referring to. But well, ultimately, I think Trump makes a decision, then Elon says, no, well, let's do it this way.
I respectfully disagree. Okay. I think Elon Musk is saying, let me do this, this, and that. Here again, Summertime, I agree that 45 ain't smart. But where I disagree, and people don't send me a lot of nasty emails, I can't stand Melonhead. He's evil. He's a sociopath. He is a savant.
Yeah,
He's
that's what I said earlier.
smart. The savant means a person's insanely smart in certain areas. And he's insanely smart with, with being able to acquire businesses and technology and make a bunch of money on that. Where he's not smart is reading social cues and learning from social cues. He doesn't have a clue about that.
And no empathy.
It's very Aspergerish, really, if you think about it. I'm not trying to diagnose him. He doesn't have empathy, but don't kid yourself. He's very, very smart in certain areas, and that's what makes it so frightening.
Deadly smart.
Correct. So,
on that cheery note,
on that happy note,
so Mr. Mel, if someone wants to get a hold of you, he's a good reader, by the way, an excellent medium.
And so is Arthur.
To contact Mel, www.meldor.com, or call 847-590-5411.
And everybody, check out Peru. It's going to be incredible. It's a lot of walking. Peru is a lot of walking. So if you have a little issue walking, then no. Iceland's going to be fun. Linda Grindel's sister is coming to Iceland, and Linda Grindel's cousin. So I'm excited about that. Now,
everyone go to Mel's page, like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Now, Arthur, if they want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
Open the window, say, hey, Artie, ArthurEaseYourMind.com.
And go to Arthur's page and give it to this.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's another finger, but not that one.
No, that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And how do they get a hold of Miss Sherry? There you go. And go to her page and give it this.
swampvoices@gmail.com or the YouTube. I have it all linked below.
There you go. And everybody, how do we defeat this darkness? We do it with what? Just do kind deeds for each other and speak up. This storm, like it just did.
Oh,
I am learning.
Mel with his toys, boys with toys.
I am learning.
Well, I congratulate you for that learning curve. But everyone, thank you so much. Next week will be over at Auntie Mel's page and moving forward. So there you go.
And then Monday was Sherry, right? Monday was Sherry.
You too.
Yes, we shall be on.
Yeah.
And that will be live.
And I'm with Cool Crone on Friday.
There you go. And we're coming up with another idea for a show that we won't announce yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really fun.
But Mel gets to wear a wizard hat.
I lost my wizard hat, but I have my wizard wand.
There you go. That's what that is.
A friend of mine gave me this years ago, and she's in spirit now. And it came apart. I glued it back together, but I keep it. It's really kind of got a lot of sentimental value, and actually, it's got a lot of power. So it's like I call that my Merlin thingy.
Wow. I always loved the book Crystal Cave about Merlin.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by tonight. And we're going to go.
Stay warm, stay safe, and write your congressperson, 5calls.org. Good unite us. Thank you, Arthur, for sharing that.
Sure. All right. So out we go, people. Thank you again, everyone. See you later.